So what we do need to talk about is hotspots, and I won't get interrupted this time. I know I've been like interrupting myself, so we're going to talk about it. Okay. So here we go. We're going to get rid of them too, because this one, I don't have them anymore. Okay. That was one of the things that I was kind of like, God, I don't know. I'm starting to like kind of use it for a little bit. It's a bit sore on my hands and stuff. I don't have them anymore. They're like gone on this. Okay. So I'm going to show you where they are. So I figured out where they all are and I got rid of them. So what we got here is along this plate right here, along the slide plate, this edge right here, this edge right here, all along there, that is one of them, okay? So that tends to, even though everything is stone washed and nothing is going to cut you, nothing's going to, injure you in any way, right? It's just something that you can feel. You feel it in contrast to the smoothness of the top and the plates, all right? And what I'm trying to do is kind of match everything together and just get it all smooth. So you're not feeling so much of a contrast of the edges of the plates to the smoothness of the body and the, plates where they slide. So that is one along the edges there. The other one, and it's a big one, and it took me a little bit to kind of find it because I kept having to put it back together. I was sitting there, I was just fiddling with it, right? And I kept like trying to get rid of some more and then putting it back together and then playing with it again going, no, not right. No, that's not, something else is going on there, right? So I had to keep kind of feeling and figuring out, oh, I get it, all right? So what's happening here is that, here, I'm going to see if I can go into a bit of a closer mode here. Okay. So what we have here is if you have one, you'll probably notice that the edges of where these plates are, right? So this gets all laser cut. So this is initially not bent out, or this part is either. This is all kind of just flayed out before it gets pressed and gets that nice little concave look in there. So what gets left over is that you get these little corners right here, right there, and right there, and this side, and so on and so forth, all the way around, end up being higher than the actual surface of the plate. So if you were sighting down the edge of this thing, you would be able to see that it's sticking up a little bit right there. All right. So that's one of the things that we're going to get rid of. And I opted to ignore my $100, angle grinder and my, sander and stuff like that. I ignored all my power tools. I thought about it for a second. I thought, okay, am I going to use power tools to get rid of this? Or am I going to try to figure out another way to do it all by hand and for cheap that you guys can all do? So yes, I did it that way. So what I came up with is that I'll show you, all these links are in the description of the video as well. If you want to go look at them, they are all kind of just examples. So if you find something cheaper or similar, go ahead. But you are going to need some needle files, I think. Okay, so that's what I have. And that's what I use. I found something basically the same thing. I was kind of using some of the rounded ones on there. Sort of like, this one and this one. You'll see when I take my own ones out. So this is like, it's a cheap little needle file set. They're small, and yeah, that's like detail work kind of thing. Cheap, $20 Canadian. That's Canadian. Don't worry. It's going to be cheaper if you're in the US. I know most of you than you in the US, and I know that Euro is basically the same as US at this point, almost, or something. So yeah, there you go. You should be able to find the equivalent on your US Amazon. Then you're going to need some sandpaper, okay? I don't want you you're not going to want to use anything like, anything more than or less than in a grit of like, maybe 240 or something like that. This one does have, this is a pack that I found. So it's got 120, 240, 400, 600. I found most of the time I was using the 400 to do most of the work that I did on this one here. 600 is going to be like what you would use after 400 if you still want to polish it up like even more and make it smoother. I don't really think you're going to need to, but you could. 240 is what you're going to want to use to like, you know, just take off a little bit more material faster. But you always want to work up from a lower grit to a higher grit with sandpaper. It doesn't really work. You can't just like take something that you've just done with a file, because a file is going to leave something, you know, sitting in around like almost like an 80 grit or something, or a 40 grit, because it's very aggressive. And then you can't just go and throw 600 on it grit right away. You have to work up. All right. So that's another thing you're probably going to need. You're going to need a TORX T6 TORX screwdriver. That's what opens the Rapt. And then aside from that, you're basically going to need a Rapt Lite. So, you know, get a Rapt Lite as well. Yeah. So you're also going to need magnets. Okay. So that's why I suggested getting all the inserts with the extra magnets, because then you will get some extra magnets. All right. Otherwise, go to a hardware store or something like that and just find something like one of those pickup magnets or something like that. And because you need something to take the magnets out of there. I'll explain later. You got to get the magnets out of this thing, because we're going to take it all apart, right? You can't really do this while it's assembled, unfortunately. Okay. Michael Coco just bought another Rapt Lite midlife. You know, I almost did too. I was like, I'm almost just going to buy a Rapt right here. But then I was like, nah, then it'll like pop up my home address on like live and stuff like that. So I don't know. I might do it right after. I might definitely do it right after. Jordan Padova, sandpaper grit who? Yeah, exactly. Who? Yeah, grit. Sandpaper grit. Look it up. Sandpapers are different grits, okay? Higher the grit, the more... the less material it takes off and the more polishing it becomes. When you get up to the thousands, you're not even taking material off. You're just polishing a surface, okay? So at around that 400, 600 kind of like level, you're not really taking off too much anymore. It's not really, it just gets kind of polishy. So that's what we're kind of like trying to, you know, jumping the fence between. Okay, so let's just stop rambling about this and get to it. I want to show you guys what I did. So this one is going to look different from yours, right? Because I already did it, but I'm going to go again over everything and then just kind of go through the procedure for you. All right. So first things first, I want to get out of this super focus mode so you can see more. Okay. So we want to get something metal. So the other thing you're going to need, one more tool you're going to need, go grab a pot, pan, magnetic, something magnetic. Cookie tins work really good. And you can put all your parts inside of it too. So you take your TORX 6, take your screw out, put that on there. Take that out, get that on there. All right, so now it's all loose. So we're going to take this top off. That is the dampener, the genius new dampener that Jonas has come up with that now isolates all the magnets individually. Instead of trying to grab the entire insert all at once, it just isolates each magnet and it eliminates the rattle, completely eliminates the rattle. So no more of this like, God damn it, fuck. I put the thing in to make the rattle go away. It's still rattly. Now my wife hates me. She's telling me it's too loud. That kind of thing is over now. Okay, so we're going to take those away. I'm going to take them out. Then get those magnets. We're going to take them all out. We don't need the magnets. Explain a sec here. So, reason we don't need the magnets and the reason we can't do it with the magnets is because you have got stainless steel here. And you might say, why should we just do it? I mean, like, what's going on? It's stainless steel, okay? And magnets are still going to attach to stainless steel. So if we start scraping off tiny little bits of stainless steel, they are going to get everywhere and they're going to leave this like dusty residue all over the plates. So you're going to have this dust, this, you know, stainless steel, sandpaper residue, dust and stuff like that everywhere. Chat. I see some chats going on here. Yo, Gavin, what's up? Haven't seen since that first dumb test I did a while ago. Glad you could join us. Dynamic inertia. That is Gavin Sexton. He came up with the Sexton slide. It's his famous move with a Rapt where you go like that. That's his claim to fame. That's what he came up with. That'll be on his tombstone. Sexton slide. Yeah, Gavin Sexton. He does dynamic inertia, so he makes probably the best spinning tops in the world. So go check out his YouTube and subscribe, okay? And yeah, subscribe to his Facebook because you can only get his spinning tops. And he makes buttons. He makes some of the best spinner buttons in the world too. So yeah, check out dynamic inertia for sure. What else? Something about them degrading. I think they're gonna degrade. I don't think they degrade. I've had foam dampeners made of the same material in Rapt V2s for a long time now, and I haven't noticed any degrades. They get dirty. They can get dirty, but you can clean them too and dry them off. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. All right, so we're gonna take all this out. Okay. You might notice that my inserts don't match. I have an all medium insert in one side and a hybrid in the other. I'll get into more of that later. This is one of my favorite combos. I'll tell you about all my favorite combos later. All right, so now that we have it all out, the reason we have to have the magnets out is because even though it's stainless steel, it's supposed to not be magnetic, it's still a little bit magnetic. That's fine. That's all stainless steel. But it's like they consider it not magnetic when like a magnet, like I can feel it kind of touching, kind of wanting to go up to it, but even a full stack of magnets can barely hold it up. It's like just dangling there, and if I kind of, it falls off. So it's considered not magnetic. All right, so we're gonna put it back together without the magnets. Then we can see what is going on. So here we go. No magnets, no dampeners. Don't need them. All right. Because one thing I did, and I should have done it this way before, is that I kept taking it apart, trying to, do a little bit of it, put it back together, and then realize, oh crap, I didn't see how that was lining up before, that it was together. Now that it's all back together, and I had to take it apart again and try again. So now we have a slider that really doesn't work very well. There's no key ingredient there. Then we got our files. So I've got, what was the one I was using? I think it was this bad boy here. I believe it was this one. Yeah, so this one's like this one's got like a rounded edge on one side and it is flat on the other. I was finding the round was good, but it's good to have that, kind of diversity in shape. It just helps you work it better. So first things first, we're going to look at these guys, okay? So I'm going to get close and personal again. So all files basically work in a pull away sort of method. You have to really pull them away to work. They work best that way. You can try to go like this, but it doesn't work as well. All right. So you're doing like a kind of pull away thing over and over again. And I would start on this part of it, right? Because that's the part that's going to be sticking up on yours over this side. So you're going to be going back over and over and over again until you start to see that you are marking both here and here at the same time. So if you're starting up on the higher part, it's going to be getting marked first by this. And then you're going to start seeing that you're marking both sides. And then you kind of know that you've started to even it out a little bit. And then you can sight down it, look down it like that and go, oh, yeah, okay. And then you're going to take your finger and you can rub it and you see if you feel your fingertip catching any of that edge. All right. So that's all I did. And yes, we're doing it by hand, but we're making it so everyone can do it. Because if you went and did it with tools like, Okay, so belt sander, palm sander, angle grinder, Dremel. If you recognize any of these tools, you already know what I'm talking about, and you're probably already grabbing them and just going to town. All right, so we're not here to talk about how to use all of those kinds of tools, because if you know, you know. We're here to do it for everyone. All right, so you're going to go along to every one of these, and this is going to take much longer on yours because that corner hasn't been taken down yet. But you're going to go along, you're going to work all this until you kind of get it looking like I have it here, where you look down and you can't really see anything sticking up anymore. Check it with your finger. I'll do this one. Did I try the round rat tail file? I don't think I did, because I didn't want it to like make a more of like a actual indent, like a round indent. I could see that you could probably do that one after the fact. What do you mean, like this one? I mean like a round one like that? Does that look like a rat tail to you? That's a rat tail? I guess that is kind of a rat tail. Yeah. I actually used to have pet rats, so that makes sense to me. You could probably take that and you could like go after. I would use that afterwards if you wanted to like really kind of evenly get that, you know, like that. So, but at first I just wanted something flat so that I could work that edge that was right there first and kind of be up on that edge and keep working it until I saw that the level of that edge was starting to meet the level of that edge, right? With the wear that I was doing. So we're going to go around to all, oh, I did that one. Let me get action on camera here. So right now I'm using the flat side of this one. So it has the flat as the round. The flat just lets me see that I'm working it evenly. Then I switched it to the round. Kind of what Gavin's saying, having that round thing kind of helps like get into that little part more. I'm going to go into this one. We're going to do that. I'll do this one a little bit more. I held off going and like trying to make mine more perfect, even though I was like, you know, using it for 2 weeks. I could still notice some little things about it, but it was like not enough to really like be like, you know, I'll wait for stream, fix them live, fix it live. So that's pretty even. Okay. Then what happened was I went and I put it all back together, and then I was going, what's going on? There's still something I'm feeling. And it turned out it's these little edges right here. So this is one of the reasons that it was beneficial for me to do it while it is put together. So you will see that if I look at it evenly like this, you can't really see that plate poking out from the other side. But this one, you kind of can over on that side, right? So before, when I was doing it, I was just kind of taking the insert and laying it on top of the plate and seeing if I could, you know, see it. But I realized after that I can't see exactly where it's poking out until it's assembled. So then I put it all back together and used it, and I went, oh, okay, it's still actually poking out a little bit over there. So that's something else that's going to be coming out a little bit. So that's another one that we're going to go over. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go and we're going to take that edge down as well. You know what? I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn off that mic so you don't have to hear that as much, because that sounds annoying to me. Big headphones on. So that's one way you're going to work that. This is how you're going to see how much longer this could actually take. But it is all worth it. So I want to say that when I was doing this before, I said I worked it like probably on and off for like a good hour or so. And another one that worked well with that was, and I think it's in that 7-piece kit that I recommended, is just the straight up flat guy. All right. So where did that edge go again? Yeah, there. And this is one where if you do it lightly enough, I was almost able to get like a bit of a back and forth with the file as well, just to kind of speed it up. And this is kind of frustrating for me because I'm going like, oh my God, it's taking so long. And I'm like looking over at my power tools, going like, oh, I love my power tools so much, but I have to prove to myself that I can do this like this. So that's the other one that you want to get. I'm not going to do the whole thing so we don't sit here and look at the whole thing, but you're going to get that. And I would try to get that as close as you can so it's not sticking out past the insert like that. All right. Then this little part right here is also sticking up. I'll show it on this side. So this one here, that pokes out. And if you look at another one, so if I go, so this is an insert that hasn't been sanded down yet. So do you see that? Do you see that little corner there? Right there. That's kind of a bit of a corner. And if you look at it on this one, I've taken it down quite a bit. It's not down to like nothing, but it's like, it's polished over enough that it's like, yeah, you don't really feel it as much now. So, oh, right. That's the one we haven't done yet. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're a little tougher, and I can tell that I think that Jonas has already done like a little bit of sand work or something, or they just look different than the inserts that come out of the V2, like the acrylic ones, like these plastic ones. They look a little bit more like worn almost, that it's been laser cut out, but then he softened it some way. I'm pretty sure he's done something. So everything has been softened. And like I said before, it's not like it's going to hurt you. This is just making it feel a little bit better. So what I did with this is I kind of did the file, but I kind of did sandpaper as well. I want to find one that I haven't done yet. I don't get confused myself. That one I've done already. I'm going to put that one over there. So this one, same thing. You kind of want to just like hold it like this. And this is one where having the plate as well can be beneficial, and maybe just keeping it all without the screw, because then you get to keep putting it back together and kind of looking down it and telling like, oh, what's going on? You can take your finger and put it down there and see if you still feel that edge, right? So this is going to be easy because it's plastic, right? So this is one where you can definitely do a little bit of back and forth on this. And it's not going to hurt the insert in any way that, like, you know, will stop it from functioning. You just want to be more careful. You are dealing with plastic now, not metal. So it's going to work it really fast and take it away really, really quickly. So this is one where you also might want to grab your sandpaper. So I am using, like I said before, I was kind of just using the 400. I'm buried under tools here. And I'm going to go with 320. So mine looks different because it's for my sander. So these just like stick onto a sander. So I was just folding my half, giving myself a little edge that I can work with. And then you're kind of just taking it, and you can just kind of like work the sandpaper into there and just kind of give it a, kind of move it along. You can even take the actual piece you're working with and just rub it along the sandpaper. And in no time at all, you're going to take that edge right off, and then running your finger down, you're not really going to feel you're not really going to feel anything. It already feels like right now, it already feels way different. It's like this, I can feel it catching, and this side just like rolls off. Okay. So that's another little one. Then the ones that I actually noticed, the very first was the edges of these that I mentioned before. So I mentioned those, and then I put it back together, and I realized, no, I did those when the plates were off, and it actually works a lot better to do it that way. So these are the first ones I noticed. I noticed it when, you're doing, I had another wrapped here. And if you're bringing that in like that, or doing moves where you're pushing on the side, I would just kind of notice it a little bit more. I would notice it digging into my hand. And that's what kind of got me on the whole train of like, I think I can get rid of these. So again, same thing, but we're looking to kind of change the shape of it, because when you get it, it's going to be more like square along here, because this was cut out with a laser, right? So this was all just a square cut, and then it was bent up and then stone washed, right? To take away any sharpness, all right? But there is still a bit of a square edge there. So what we're trying to do is like round this over. So what I did was I just like went along with the file, and I just tried at an angle here to kind of take this all the way down like that, and just kind of really, really round it over, right? So you can start even by kind of getting pretty aggressive and going this way, and just kind of take that down, and you might end up making even more of an angle up this way, but then you can take it and you can just take that off a bit at the top and go like that, all right? So that's going to take a lot more time than I just did now, but again, we're not trying to sit here all day. So where's my other one here? So I just want to look at this again and make sure that I've kind of figured them all out and let you know about them all, the main ones there. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over them all again, and then I'll just kind of show you sanding it. So we've got these ones, right, that I noticed first. And those are here, 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 all the way around there. Then we've got where the plates meet there. So these edges right here, this one is going to be higher than here, and then so forth here. So here and here is going to be higher than all along here. And you'll have an edge there and an edge there sticking out. Then you're going to have the edges of these plates sticking out a little bit. They can end up feeling a little weird. Then you're going to have the edges of the inserts sticking up a little bit. That can feel a little weird. All right. Some people say they like it. I heard someone on one of the groups say he was just like, I don't know, it makes me feel alive. And hey, if it makes you feel alive, go with it. Cool. Great. I don't like it. So I changed it. So like I said before, I don't have this anymore on this. I don't feel it. Like I can just take this and just rub it around, and it just feels nice now. I don't know. I don't have any harsh, abrasive kind of things going on there. So after that all happened, you want to take, I'm going to say the 400. So this is, that's 400, P400. I don't know what P stands for. Something. And you're just going to want to go and just rub it along all of the parts that we were messing with. So you see how you can kind of tell right there that I've had a file on that, because you can see that, right? So you're just going to go and you're going to rub that with your 400, and it's going to start to go away pretty quick. See, it's already starting to blend in. 400 is pretty polishable. There. See, it's already a big difference. And that, like, the sanding part's not going to take that long. That to me, like, just that right there, I'm already like, yep, I'm good with it. Feels great now. So I'm kind of applying a lot of pressure. I'm kind of rubbing them together. Done. Easy. Feels great. And if you watch my other stream where I unboxed this, I went and was messing around because I knew that the plates took a time to break in. And I think I took some 600 grit sandpaper and I tried rubbing it like all over the plates and thought like, oh, let's see if we can speed up this break-in process. And it's funny, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's like only just using it works. So I sat there after the stream and I sat there for about an hour and I just played with it. And I could feel it happen like as I was playing with it. It was crazy. And it's just playing with it. That's what does it. So that's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to try. Try it in your risk. It will change your Rapt. I think it's for the better. But yeah, I mean, it's going to change it. It's not going to change the function. It's not going to break it, but it's, if you want it au natural, exactly the way it comes from the workshop, then yeah, don't touch it. But this is a great budget, slider to play around with like that.